celebrating via the Rod Eccles Show this year. Going to have some goodies for you coming up. There's going to be, coming up in the next couple of months, you're going to see some major changes to the website, rodeccles.net, which is good changes, positive changes. It might even be a revamp. Not going to tell you exactly what it is yet. Also, some goodies coming your way. There's going to be some. Right now, the plans is to have some stuff that you might like to purchase as gifts as well, but possibly some freebies out there too. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention and keep track of rodeccles.net. Plus, also a new Facebook fan page has been launched. It is Rod Eccles Speaker. And if you check that out, search for that, you will find it. And basically, it is all about my speaking ability and my speaking tours, and they center around politics, obviously business and family, motivational stuff. So yes, you might want to jump on and join the Rod Eccles Speaker page, because it is totally different from the Rod Eccles Show page. It is going to be very different. You're going to get some very different stuff over there versus the Rod Eccles Show page, as well as Rod Eccles Author, which I have a new book that's coming out. It'll be out for the holidays, in time for the holidays. If I can write fast enough, I may have two. One for the kiddies. But we'll see if we can get that done in time. But writing takes a lot of time. Speaking of writing, I have been added to the contributing authors of Alan B. West. I think that's a done deal. So you'll probably start seeing articles, postings over on the Colonel Alan West site, official site, Alan B. West. Exciting stuff is happening over here to me, and I'm just having a ball doing all this stuff. It keeps me busy as a bee. No idle hands over here. Trust me. Hey, so jumping right into it now, I know that there is a lot. People like to say that Americans don't really care about or pay attention to Canadian politics, but I beg to differ. And I think the closer you are to the Canadian border, probably the more attention you're paying to it. But I would like to suggest that the entire 50-state realm of the United States should be paying attention to what's going on in Canada. Now, first of all, this guy, Trudeau, he's the son of a former popular Prime Minister, Pierre Trudeau. And he's young. And according to a lot of, press, media, females, I guess, he's a hottie. He's a hunk. So he's a Canadian hunk from the north. Now, he's a liberal. He's got, based on liberalistic ideas and notions that we know of in this country, Trudeau is a liberal. As a matter of fact, he even says that he espouses and took a lot of stuff out of the Bernie Sanders playbook. And he says he would like to implement them in Canada. Now, this really, for a lot of Canadians, is a complete shockaroo. Because for the last 10 years, they've been very, had very conservative people in the hierarchy in their national government. Just the way the Canadians thought that they liked it. During the economic downturn, Canada didn't fare nearly as bad as most of the rest of the Western world when it came to the economic downturn of 2008, 9, 10. And they fared much better than many of the Western world nations. And that was due to that staunch conservative leadership up there. And that's been that way for a decade. But all of a sudden, overnight, when people are going, they went to the polls and they're going to bed thinking, they're going to wake up to the continuation of good times. And then they wake up this morning and get the shock of their lifetime. And I find it interesting that, we see a lot, if you're reading some of the Canadian press, and I have, and even some of the Canadian press, is shocked and amazed at what happened yesterday in Canada. The Liberal Party, if you will, I guess had less than 40 seats in their parliament, their Congress. But after the election, they will now have, the Liberal Party not only will have the prime minister, but will have the majority in parliament with well over 130 seats. They added more than 100 seats in one election. And Canada has a three-party system, by the way. I know a lot of people say three parties, no, systems can't work. Well, it works in Canada. But the Conservatives have been in power and have had the majority of the seats and over the past decade. But all of a sudden, one night, not only did this guy, this good-looking young man, gets thrust into the limelight of being the Canadian Prime Minister, but on his coattails, he brings in another 100-plus liberals with him. So, beginning next year, well, I don't know when the prime minister officially, we have an inauguration here on January 20th after that election. I'm not sure when the Canadian inauguration is, but let me just say, beginning in 2015, really, there is going to be a major shift in Canadian politics. Now, here's the interesting rub. There was major interference in that election. Now, I'm not saying cheating. I'm not saying voter fraud. I'm saying interference. Interference from a foreign government. Ours. It seems that the Obama administration sent some people up there, put them on the ground, and was showing Trudeau how to utilize, social marketing, social networking, and that type of thing to get to and do some proper data mining and all that kind of stuff in order to really eke out the voters that they needed in order to win. And the Canadian media, as well as the Conservative Party and the other party in Canada, they weren't really paying attention to this, didn't know about it, didn't understand it, didn't know what they were doing. And then they got the shock of their life. Because these are real Americans. Now, I don't know how, I don't know the Canadian legal system and election. I don't know if that's legal or not up there. But that's irrelevant. Even if it is totally above board and legal there, that's irrelevant. The point is that we have an administration here. All we hear about is how conservative presidents were interfering and trying to overthrow other governments. But we're not hearing every time. Look, this administration also tried to put people on the ground in Israel to keep Benjamin Netanyahu from being reelected. So now we have this guy who calls himself the president of the United States. I guess he's trying to be the president of Canada too now. So he's up there doing all these shenanigans. Look, what is it? Canada's 35 million people. I mean, it's not. I guess it's really, if you know what you're doing, it's not easy to take over. 35 million. Let's face it. We got 320 million people here. That's a bigger task, a bigger job. So, we've got like 300 million more people than Canada. Do you realize that? Our nation has gotten so large that we have nearly 300 million more people than our neighbor to the north. So if the United States wanted to basically take over Canada, if you're going to do it militarily, it wouldn't be much of a fight, but that would not happen. How easy would it be to take over the election system? If you know what you're doing, it's easily done. You're only talking 35 million people. 35 million, and a good majority of them, I don't know, what was the last number? What did I see? I think there was some number of nearly 10 million Canadians legally living in the United States. So by comparison, our neighbor to the south, Mexico, has about 123 million people. So I don't know how difficult it would be of to take over. Well, it wouldn't be difficult at all to take over Canada. Canada's got about 35. Well, actually, the exact number here is about the 35.7. So 36 million people. It wouldn't be difficult at all to take over up there. And evidently, Obama also figured that out and decided that, yeah, it's something that we could do. Let's go. Hey, I'm going to send you people up there to teach Trudeau. He's a liberal, so I'm going to like him. And he's good looking like me. So we're going to go up there, or you're going to go up there, because I can't. But you're my people. I'm going to send my people, and you're my people. Put boots in the ground. Not military, but, political activists, all you community organizers. I'm the community organizer in chief. You're my minions. You're going to go up there. You're going to teach them and show them and do them how we did down here. So he can win. So he can be my buddy. Hell, we might even go on golfing trips. Yeah, me and Trudeau together. Can you see it? Perfect photo opportunity. Good-looking president. Good-looking prime minister. Yeah, and we think alike. I like that. Yeah, no, go. Shoot, get up there. Yeah, do it. So this whole notion that he can't affect an election in another. Well, look, it was so bad over going over to Israel. That Bibi was, he was looking for legal Israeli ways and laws and using the Israeli legal system to keep them from coming and affecting the outcome. So that's how serious and effective that this guy can be. Believe it. And you know what? What's really bad is that one of the things that the mainstream media down here kept talking about, story after story. Believe it or not, there's quite a few stories here stateside in the United States about the Canadian overhaul, if you will. And of course, the reason why they're doing it is because, hey, liberals. That's liberals won up there. So liberals aren't so bad. But they all pointed out the fact that this Trudeau person, not only is he the son of a once very popular late Pierre Trudeau, but that he's a hottie. He's so good. So all of a sudden now we've taken politicians and we've bumped them up to, celebrity status, big time. I mean, because now we're seeing, everybody talking about Paul Ryan being the next Speaker of the House, and he should get in. One of the things that they pointed out about Paul Ryan, Paul Ryan is considered one of the top 10 best looking members of Congress in the House and in the Senate. Paul Ryan's a hottie. I don't particularly care if you agree with it or not. The point is that there is a posting. There is some comparison, and this whole everybody thought that one of the reasons why Obama got to pass Hillary is because he was a hell of a lot better looking than Hillary. Look, we're stuck on how you look. I guess as far as a politician really matters, and they go through all kinds of Yeah, they have styling people and consultants and everything to tell them how to dress and how to look their best, how to cut their hair. Oh, yeah. All that stuff counts, folks. It all counts.